Hey guys! I got some energy I want to translate that I received. Um, it's still new to me, but I felt the need to share it with you guys. So hopefully I get it all out and eventually more clarity will come. Because I've been a little skeptical of sharing it just because it's kind of hard to translate, but I get the overall idea, so I'm going to share it, and I believe the elements will allow me to proceed on more once I do that part, you know? So let me find where I put it at. Ah, and it is concerning intercourse, um, and the process that comes in that. Boy, I feel so nervous even talking about it. It's so weird. I feel so nervous talking about it. Um, it's a energies coming together, but it's not in the way that you think. That's the intriguing part that gets me. Um, but you do need two people. It's concerning intercourse, sexual intercourse, where two people come together and then mix something, but they forget this. The spirit part is connected. Like my lips almost got stuck together. The spirit part is connected in that, and it's so intriguing how it came to me as into the spirit is like the placenta aspect. If that makes sense. Okay. Boy, oh boy. I know, right? I'm gonna get it out. It's okay. It's just taking me a little minute. I feel like I should just show you guys, but it's the intercourse. Two people, but one of them have a spirit with them, literally, and one is the protector, which is the placenta aspect, and the other forms. But it's not based off the two people that came together, if that makes sense. That's where it's like kind of hard to explain. But the duty of the placenta, the protector, is maintaining the fetus through the umbilical cord, which is allowing me to know how we're still connected to the universe, the galaxy. It's like you are literally carrying a galaxy, and that's how you still operate once you come out of the womb. You still have that guidance because it was guiding you the whole time. But on the other side, where it's the form side, where I guess the physical body, if that makes sense, babies start listening to outside noises. It's like, it's making me think of how people say, I got two angels or two spirits like on their shoulders, and you got this one telling you this, and you got the other one telling you this. One been with you the whole time. It sent you there. It stayed with you in the womb, which is the placenta aspect. Which for me, when I received that, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense, because what even made me get into that energy, because I have been on babycrave.com mode, but I just was thinking about a baby in the womb, you know, and the sounds it make in there. It's like, it sound like water, like something up underwater or something you would think about out of space, honestly. So my little mind went looking on YouTube, which YouTube is my favorite handy dandy aspect other than Google. Just because to me it's like it's a YouTube. It's like you are projecting your tube, like this umbilical cord, out. Like you learn and you share. That's what that reminds me of. And I use that aspect a lot um, for learning, and I do share my work too. But you know, um, and when I start hearing it, it made me think of the freaking galaxy. Like that's what you're literally carrying, and it's so intriguing. But so intriguing. Um, I went on YouTube. I was looking for the sounds, as I was saying, And I kind of didn't find it, but I found enough to like spark my mind to realize like, oh, that's what that means. As into it's the galaxy. It's a energy source, but it's a planet. If that makes sense, that you're carrying. But it's mixed with you, and that's the part where it gets tricky to me because it's like it's not seeming to be both of those parents. It's like one or the other, but it helps me understand better when it comes to like people who donate sperm or they do adoption aspects. It don't seem like it's both of the parents, or it's not parenting the way that you would think it would be. Because one is a protector, the other one is like it forms you, if that makes sense. Because one is just is a protector, and they literally just communicate with you energetically. Maintain the fetus through the umbilical cord. Then I put listen and reveal because they can hear you. They communicate with you. They sent you there. They are you. The same way as into the baby, the fetus, the galaxy, whatever you want to call this aspect. They can hear outside of the womb. Like everything you're doing, which once I learned that aspect, I was like, oh no. Because it's not good to have sex during that time either. It's like you're literally is having sex with your child at the same time. That's like the earliest form of trauma ever. Unawarely, but awarely, you know? Because they can hear, they can see, they're moving around in there. Like, they hearing all that. It's like, it's a fucking threesome happening. It's weird. It gave me a whole different perspective. It's like, as much as I've been on crave.com, I better realize I won't be getting no action, but I think I'll be fine in that aspect. It's just guys, on the other hand, that's going to be a hard one. That's where they're, like, you see how my little aspects start going like that? That's where their little minds start wandering off, you know? But it's like, at the end of the day, it should make sense for them not to do that, you know, or not even want to do that, you know, just because of that aspect. Baby still recognizes mother voice. Even when they come out of that, when we come out of the womb, we still hear that voice that was guiding us while we were in that placenta. The placenta is the spiritual aspect, if that makes sense. This has been such an intriguing topic, but that's what I meant to talk about. It's like a great divide. That's a divide. That's the big confusion, which caused mental illnesses and all that. It's because of that aspect. And when I thought into it more, it kind of made it seem like the mother is not the mother, if that makes sense. The physical mother is not the mother. Because I put two seeds on here. The guy has a seed, you know, that he collected from the eternal aspect. Because I say guys get pregnant all the time because they do. You know, you carry babies in your nutsack and then you release it out. They call it sperm or whatever. But at some point in time, you have to release that. Just like how a female will get pregnant. We can't hold it in there forever. It has to come out at some point in time. But they collect from the solar system energy, you know, and then they transfer it. But this aspect that I'm receiving it in is different. It's like, it's that guy aspect. He has a seed already. But then the eternal aspect, spirit part, puts itself in there. If that makes sense. Oh man, that's where it's so hard to explain. I guess everything ain't meant to be understood fully. That's why I said more clarity will come eventually. I know it will. It's just put it out there and then we walk it out. Put it out there and then we walk it out. Because when I first got this, I was so excited. I got this last week. I received it. And I wanted to talk about it at that moment, but I'm still in the same energy as I am now. I say, oh my God, it's so hard to explain, yo. It's like, it makes sense to me, but getting it out actually really don't make sense to me. I'm not even gonna sit here and play. I'm not even gonna sit here and play. It don't make sense to me, fully, but it does at the same time, because it is literally a separation. It's a spiritual aspect, and then the form part. They're totally different. And the form part seemed to be one person. Like the spirit chose one person. If that makes sense. But then there's so many other angles I'm seeing it at. Because like, it's like your actual physical form. And it's like the outside influences. It's so hard to explain. Because babies are listening to outside voices. People you're around. Aspects of that nature play a really big part. On top of baby still recognizes mother's voice, galaxy. I feel like I could use myself as an example, but it's kind of hard to an extent just because I naturally operate energetically on the eternal side. And that's how I'm able to translate, is because I'm connected to the solar system. I know who sent me here, you know. But outside influences can slow things down or confuse things, if that makes sense. But I have just learned that it's already set out as to how it's gonna go. That's the intriguing part. It's like deja vu to an extent. Like, yeah, I knew you were gonna do that, nah. You know? So it's like even outside influences can't stop what sent you. And I say that, I'm feeling the need to say slow you down, because it makes me think of young people. They be so enthusiastic when they're younger. They have so many ideas, and you know, even an infant like me, watching my son grow up, like really crawling and using the first words and things of that nature, it was intriguing because I didn't have to do none of that. He did that all on his own for the most part. Like, you don't have to teach them; they just do it. But it's the guidance they already have. You know, that's why I normally say I'm a cheerleader. I give wisdom when I feel it's needed or if it's seeked. But overall, they seem to be ready already. But a lot of adults have a hard time believing that aspect, it seems like. It's like they feel like they need to be more needed, if that makes sense. And if they don't feel needed, then it's a problem. Because they feel like it's their duty to always be doing that, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained this good. I actually want to pull a card. I'm going to pull a card too before I wrap it up. I just want to pull a card for this energy. It seems to be so important, definitely for generations to come. It's a lot of confusion of this guidance that's already in you. But it needed two aspects to come together, if that makes sense. To translate through somebody. Somebody was a one that was able to connect already. Both was not that way. It's like how I was say about, actually I just did a translation like that actually. How somebody was already awakened, then they awoken somebody else. But this is this spirit aspect. Bringing two people together. And one is already connected with the solar system. They're already in tune with it. I feel like a crazy person to talk about it, which is kind of weird to say that, but It is what it is. But it actually makes me so happy personally. Because it's what I've been craving. And just knowing that that's what I'm carrying is so nice. It makes sense what I've been speaking of a lot. As into the guidance that you will get while they're in the womb. You have this source so close to you that will guide you. It's like they always, you know, there and available, but it's like in a physical form, closer, realistic, you know. It's amazing. Contract that came out. It sounds like somebody. Does it sound like a? I want to say a deal. It's a balance too. Blindfolded. It's a balance in the dark. It's a contract. It's like a purpose, but it's coming off as a deal. You know, people say, I feel like I got a pressure on my nose. It's so weird. I've been feeling that way for a little minute. And I had nerve to... You see, my nose is already red, honestly. But, I've been running. My nose is getting runny again. I was hoping that I didn't start running while I was recording. I'm doing actually quite good, but... I don't know what made me think about that. It's just... Yeah. How people say... I can't even think what people say, honestly. That's so intriguing. My mind is intriguing right now. It's about being able to come back. When you come back. Like, I do this for you if you allow me to come back. It's one of those type of energies, but I can't think of the way people say it. It's just, that's the way that I understand it, to be able to translate it. That's why I say a deal. It seems like a deal. Somebody knew this was gonna happen. And it brings a balance, but it's blindfoldedly. That's the intriguing part. It's a contract. Intriguing. But it goes with this energy. Let me see if I can hold the phone this way really quick. Okay. Oh, did the phone just flip over? That is a good way to do it, huh? But this is the people coming together. Two people coming together. Then you got two C's, but the two C's is not what you think it is. It's the eternal aspect. But two people come together. And the one goes this way and one forms. This one is the spiritual aspect. It's the placenta. The other protect, the other one forms. Then the duty of the protector is to maintaining the fetus through the umbilical cord. Listening to reveal, because they're connected. It's this part that's connecting them. It's so intriguing. But I hope I explained that good. And hey, more clarification to come eventually. It's just, that's the energy that I need to translate. That was a little difficult for me too, but I'm sure I got it out quite perfectly. It's just, it's a little confusing to me, honestly. So remember, be kind, you guys. You are a reflection, and that's what I mean. That reflection aspect.